Adventure in the Titans 2019 Nissan Titan and Titan XD. Look, let's be honest here. The Titan X. Some might also see a smallish enthusiast following as a reason for the Titan's middling sales numbers. However, if in attendance at the wintry Titan adventure were social media influencers with massive followings as well as humble Titan owners who barely know the meaning of the words face and book. In attendance were Nissan is rightly proud of the fact that the majority of its owners place value on giving back to the community, frequently using their Titans to do so. Last bit is a key part of the company's Calling All Titans charity campaign. As such, next up was a common good deed opportunity truck owners face in the winter of freeing a stuck motorist. However, we allowed the truck to settle into the snow while Fluid Peak Collective's David Page gave us a quick lesson on vehicle recovery. One common mistake. Page also advocated for closed-loop recovery, which ditches a hook in favor of a pin and D-ring. A hook by definition. One of the attendees also taught us a clever trick for those inopportune times that you might need to tow a friend out of a snowbank, but neither of you have those aforementioned D-rings. By removing your along the way, we passed by wildlife including one slightly aggressive cow moose and some of the most scenic vistas the West has to offer. At the top of the trail, retreating from the trail with toes and fingers chilled, we appreciated our Titan Platinum Reserve's heated front and rear seats, helping us arrive back to our base camp in Victor refreshed and ready for our evening. After a full day, our final stop before heading back was a trip to the three peaks that headline the Teton Range. Grand Teton. Watching sunset fall around the valley and through the mountains, we were filled with a deep appreciation for the wintry beauty the Tetons offer. On and off-road, but ultimately, this excursion was less about the truck and more about the experience. Gleefully varying, but 2019 brought a fairly significant update courtesy of an all-new Nissan Connect infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which will come standard on all trim levels of both the Titan and Titan XD. Other alterations. While the updates don't drastically change the driving experience, they do make owning and living with a Titan on a daily basis much easier. The addition of Apple. If you didn't like the 2018 Titan and Titan XD, 2019's updates likely won't change your mind much. But taken in part.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.